Okay, this is part one of the study guide answers. This may take a couple sections. So this is part one. Okay, the first section was determine how many solutions each equation has without solving the equation. So here's the patterns that you're looking for. You're looking for the same coefficients and different constants is no solution. The same coefficients and the same constants is infinite solutions, infinitely many solutions. So if you have different coefficients, then you have one solution. So this first one, if you simplify it, you end up with 7x plus 5 equals 6x plus 30. You have different coefficients, so there's one solution. If you simplify this, you end up with 2x plus 2 plus 3x minus 18 equals 5x minus 110. You end up with 5x minus 16 equals 5x minus 110. So that is no solution. Here you end up with y plus 3y minus 21 equals 4y plus 8 minus 29, which ends up being 4y minus 21 equals 4y minus 21. Same things on both sides, so that's infinitely many solutions. And this one, last one, ends up being 3y plus 3y plus 18 equals 2y plus 12 plus 8. My coefficients are different, so I have one solution. All right, on to the next topic. That's fractions. So I like to clear the fractions out. So I'll work through both of these and show you how I clear them out. So I'm going to distribute first. And I always bring my x's up to the numerator so I don't forget about them. So when I distribute, I have 1/2 x minus 5/8. Okay, so now I'm going to make everything into eighths. Now if I multiply by the denominator, I can clear out all the fractions. So I'm left with 23 minus 10x equals 4x minus. When I solve that, I end up with x equals 2. All right, we skipped number 2. Number 3, I distributed first. The plus 14/5. Now I have to find a common denominator, which is 35. So I'm going to make everything into 35ths. This is minus Now to get rid of that fraction, I multiply everything by 35. So I have negative 56n plus 98 equals 110 minus 50n. When you solve, you get x or n equals negative 2. All right, that's our fraction section. Okay, these are absolute value equations. The thing that you have to remember about this, there's actually two things, is you need to solve for two versions, the negative and the positive version. And remember that you cannot have an absolute value, a negative absolute value. So if you isolate the absolute value bars and then you have a negative solution, your answer will be no solution. All right, so our first one, you're going to solve for k minus 7 equals 1 and k minus 7 equals negative 1. If I add 7 here, I have k equals 8. If I add 7 here, I have k equals 6. So my solutions are 6 and 8. Here I have 2 minus 4m equals 6, and 2 minus 4m equals negative 6. So I'm going to subtract 2. I have negative 4m equals 4. After I divide each side by 4, I have negative 1 over here. If I subtract 2, I have negative 4m equals negative 8. If I divide by negative 4, I have m equals 2. So my solutions here are negative 1 and 2. Okay. Number 3. First, I have to isolate the absolute value bar. So I have negative 3 minus the absolute value of 2 minus 2x equals 19. So I'm going to add 3 first. So I have negative absolute value of 2 minus 2x equals 22. Now I have to get rid of that negative sign by dividing by negative 1. And then I end up with a negative absolute value. So this one is no solution. Okay. This next one, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I have the absolute value of 1 minus 8m equals 63. I'm going to solve twice. I'm going to subtract 1. Negative 8m equals 62. I'm going to divide by negative 8. So when I reduce this, I have m equals negative 31 fourths. Let's solve over here. So negative 8m equals negative 64. Divide by negative 8. So I have negative 31 fourths and 8. All right. Let's move on to the literal equations. So number 1 says y equals mx plus b. Solve for b. That means get b alone. So I'm going to subtract this mx from both sides. So I have y minus mx, and b is alone. Be simple. So the next one says The next one says A equals 1/2 BHX minus 3 for B. Well, first thing I'm going to do is divide by 1/2 or multiply by 2. So I have 2A over here equals BHX minus 3. Now I'm going to add 3. So I have 2A plus 3 equals BHX. And we're solving for B, so I'm going to divide by HX. There we go. All right, solve and graph the inequality. The thing you need to remember here is you need to flip the sign when you are multiplying or dividing by a negative. So this is R divided by 6 is greater than -2. I'm going to multiply by +6. So I have R is greater than -12. On my graph here, I'm going to have an open circle, and the numbers that are greater than -12 are this way. Okay, so the next one is -3b greater than or equal to 27. To solve this, I need to divide by -3, so I'm going to flip the sign the opposite direction, and then I'm going to graph. Okay, so it's a closed dot because it's less than or equal to, and here is the numbers that are less than or equal to. Okay, I think we can fit a couple more in here. So we have -14 is less than 3x plus 4 plus 6x. We're going to combine these. So I have -14 is less than 9x plus 4. When I subtract 4 from both sides, I have -18 is less than 9x. I'm going to divide by 9. I have x greater than -2. Here's our graph. I have an open dot on -2, and the numbers that are greater than -2 are that way. Okay, this one is -4 is less than or equal to x minus 3 minus 5. Let's combine those to be -8. I'm going to add 8. So I have 4 is less than or equal to x. So I'm going to have a solid end because it's greater than or equal to, and here are the numbers that are greater than or equal to 4. Okay, I'm going to stop here.